Welcome back to the channel where we are making a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Yesterday we ended up getting our entity system working for our particles, as well as scaling our particle systems per our spellcast entity, as well as getting our spellcast entities to be able to render off the screen when we transition, which I'm doing a bad job of showing off, but like that. They can come off and then the particles are coming off. The particles are staying on the current screen so they don't get scrolled with us, but then the particles come with us into the next stream as they get emitted. So that's all looking pretty good. I can show off how we can do more particles than just the one. And then, yeah, so I was on Prosto's stream and it was like just me and him for like the last 30 minutes or so, but I told him, he said he was signing off in a couple minutes, and I said, dude, if you wait a couple minutes, you can come raid me. He's like, well, I've only got one viewer. So I said, well, I'll be here and I'll raid myself. But he's finishing up his stream right now. He's doing this cool, he's doing a 3D game in Love2d and Lua. Or not Love2d, his own, he's not even using a game engine, he's just doing it himself. So he's using Lua, doing a 3D game. And you know what, I don't know if he is using 2D now that I think about it. I remember him saying something about, that's why he doesn't like to use an engine. So, what's on today's homework? What are we doing today? I think since we've got the spellcast entities and particles working okay, I think now is a decent time to start building out 2 of our scenes to be pretty a little more polished, right? For like, because this scene right here has got like a little pathway and some trees, which isn't that great level design wise. So we're gonna build out maybe one level and maybe one level adjacent to it to make it look like a somewhat more built-out game. So we'll have to be making some more pixel art today to supplement, because we've only got about what you see is about what we've got in the game, which is just a couple of bricks, a couple of grass things, a couple of sand tiles. Hey Prosto, thanks for the raid. Yeah, I was watching you all day today. Yeah, I hope you're happy with the progress you made in your game today. It looked like you got some good stuff done. I'm trying to give you a shout out here, which I should be doing for everyone that ends up raiding the channel. I've been slacking on that. But thanks, man, I appreciate it. I hope you had a good day today. So yeah, today I think we're going to be building out some more pixel art to just get a little more difference in our levels, because right now all we've got is a bunch of sand and then a little bit of grass and animated flowers, but that's it. And then we'll need to ultimately make in Link's Awakening, they have like a tree tile set that has the top left of the tree is the bottom right of this tree, so that they can kind of overlap them and make them look like 5 trees bunched together in the course of 4 sprites. So yeah, you're welcome, Prosto. You are very welcome. Thank you for the raid. Something crazy happened. We just started running very slowly all of a sudden, but the other thing I want to do, I always do this, I accidentally chat E in chat because I'm trying to exit my terminal. Okay, so another thing we want to do is start thinking about how we're going to be holding information for all of our maps. So it's like right now we've got our map declarations, which tells us what to render where, but it doesn't have any reference to any entities that need to be in a certain map quadrant or any yeah, I don't know. So like ideally, like right here we've got if you look at right when we start our game, we've got a bunch of geckos here that start out and crawl out. Now that's because we're manually instantiating all these geckos into our current map. But what we want to have happen is we want to be able to say, hey, map 1-1, you get inserted all these entities. You know, let's say you get all these geckos with a certain direction or whatever. And then when we load the game, it'll ask what current map we're on. It'll instantiate all those entities that are on that current map, and then it'll update them. As opposed to us just kind of manually putting them all in the scene, we want to be able to say, hey, scene 1-1 gets these geckos. So that way, if we wanted geckos on scene 1-2, then we would place them there, and then by the time our 1-2 gets populated upon a transition here, they wouldn't be updated, but they would be instantiated. And then as soon as we're done with the transition, it would update, and then we would start to see them crawl. So that's one thing we want to start working on. But I'm thinking, I think today's either going to be a couple more pixel art things or trying to separate that entity system. So I guess we'll start with pixel art. We'll see how far we get, and if we get bored or we feel particularly frisky, we can do the entity stuff. So I do want to make a couple more map collidables. I did end up making like a little fence post so that we can kind of line some of these pathways and or any kind of walkways that we want barriers, because the more interaction we have with the environment, like these collisions here, the more it kind of sells the... Oh, what just happened? I don't know why we're stuck in animation here. But something's going wrong. Like, we just dipped down to 40 FPS. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a product of running all this stuff while streaming, or if it's really just a bug, but we'll keep an eye on that. So let's pull up, I think I made a collidable post object back when I made my new tree. Oh, I was working on some potential flair for the sub badges. Oh god. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I wanted him to have like a monocle or like a cigarette or something, but I didn't know if that was against Twitch rules. Yeah, exactly, Prosto. Jimmy. It's like a Michael Jackson Jimmy right there. So I was thinking about making some of those flare badges, but we'll see. Let's see, I think I made it. I thought I already imported it here. No. Maybe it's in our downloads. Nope. You know what? I know we made this. Did we save it anywhere? I know we saved the new tree, right? We had a, let me pull up, I'm gonna try to download it from my Google Drive real quick. I know I've made it already, so we don't have to spend time making it again. So I'm just gonna download it right here. Luckily, I found it right away. We'll put it into our pictures. Okay, so now it's in our pictures. We should be able to find it here. Okay. So, see, like this little wood fence, like in Link's Awakening, they have this, and it works. It works both ways. You can make a soft-hued booty dancing emotes. Yeah, I've seen some twerk-ish emotes on Twitch as well. Let's see. We need to pull the same green that is our grass, which we need to go ahead and make. I guess if we import our palette here, we might be able to find it. think it's this green. Oh, that is our green. I'm going to open our master map sheet here, which should have all of our stuff. There we go. This should be the green we want, which looks like it's this green. If we take this green, yeah, it's that green. Okay, so that is the same green. Okay, so this woodfence.png is our wood fence. So let's go ahead and place it into our map sheet, our master sheet. Now we have to put it here in these two rows, these 4 rows rather. All these 4 rows are considered collidable map objects. So our sheet will know that since this sprite is here, our player shouldn't be able to collide with this thing. So if we go ahead and save this as our master sheet, then we can, and this, we're not using this tree anymore. It's just laziness that I haven't removed it. But that's the tree I spent like an hour and a half on. And then I liked the tree I whipped out in like 10 seconds on stream better, so we're keeping that for now. But this should be, our wood fence should be 1 quad over from our top right tree. So now that we saved our master sheet, we can go into our constants here. Actually, yeah, it is. So it should be a tree top right here. And we can say that our wood fence gets 99 because that's 1 quad over from the top right tree. And then what we can do is go ahead and go to our map declarations. And we're going to go to our first page here. And alongside our path, I kind of want a couple of these wood posts. Now we have a grass. I thought we had more. Oh, this is 2-1. That's why. Yeah, we want 1-1. Yeah, dirt path. Okay, so right here, I want this wood fence. And then above it, I want wood fence. Let's see if that puts our wood fence there. It does. It's the wrong green, but see how like the collision detection's working for that. So if any quad is in that realm of those 2 rows, it knows we can't collide with it. So we just need to give it the proper colored green, and then we'll have these little fences. Let's go. I thought we had the same green, but oh yeah, obviously it's totally different. Okay, so if we save this, it should match. Hey, K-Tronics, good to see you, bud. I don't sadly have any carpet videos for you, so I don't know if I can hold your attention. K-Tronics does some PCB designing on his channel, on his stream, which is cool. Okay, so what's cool about this too is see how my head can go just over the fence? It's because our player hitbox is a little shrunk than our top head, so the top-down perspective allows us to walk through that a bit, but it also allows us to not walk through it. So let's just add like 1 more up here and then a couple more this way up to the end of this dirt path. And we'll make sure that those are all working okay, and then we'll see about adding some new pixel art. So I like that we can kind of visually type out what we want here. Now, I know that someone in our Discord was sharing this tiled program. See, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see how they look stacked to the left. So these posts work as a vertical stack of fences and a left and right stack of fences, which I think is pretty cool. You know, we should be able to get a bit closer to those, but we'd have to make them a bit taller in order for that to be the case. But that's looking good. Now we can't walk over here, but it's nice that we can kind of see what those might look like. Now I do want to add some more collidable objects. Yeah, I have looked up that tiled program, and it looked very powerful in that you can just kind of pick your tiles and draw it, and then it'll export it as a .lua, and you can kind of just import it from there. I think I'm just kind of worried about how I'm going to adapt it to our current game, because our current game isn't one big tile sheet, it's a whole bunch of individual tile sheets that all need their own separate information. So I don't know if that's a good call for me, but I might download it and try to play around with it and see, because the drawing feature looked really, really helpful on that. Because instead of doing what we're doing and just like manually writing wood fence, grass, you can, in that tiled program, you literally just pick wood fence and you can draw with it. And then it's a lot easier on that front. But I kind of like doing it this kind of manual way, but we'll see. If it aids our game development, we might switch over. Yeah, I'd have to figure out how to adapt it to this current system with how we're doing all the scene rendering, the scene shifting, and then all the entities and stuff. Well, I guess that wouldn't be too hard, but our animated objects might be a little hard. I don't know how tiled treats those animation objects, because we have to kind of do our own thing for that. But yeah, let's get some contiguous wood down here. Well, I guess the green background of the wood doesn't blend with here, which is another reason why tiled might be good for us, is because tiled allows layers. So we can say, hey, draw with a layer of this type of grass, but then draw a wood fence with a transparency over that, so that we're just getting the wood fence instead of the wood fence with a baked in grass underneath it. So then we can put a wood fence in this area and it would look like it belongs there. So that's another plus for tiled. You can place point entity and set class parameter and just find this point in your game and then place there what you need. I will download it and mess around with it. I probably won't do it on stream because I don't feel like boring everyone that bad, but I'll download it and try it and see what I think, because I think that could be really powerful for us. Yeah. There's a part of me that is like, no, I just want to do it my own way and do it me having done all the stuff. But if it makes it easier to design more complex levels and make them look better because of the layer system, then we might want to go about that. So we do need to come up with a couple more things, like we need little huts, little houses, so that we can go into and talk to NPCs. And then we need probably another couple sets of collidable map objects to give us more variety, like a tree stump, and then like a ledge or something. So worst time to make an importer. We'll see. I'll mess around with it. Okay, so let's take a look here at here is our current map sprite master sheet, is what we call it. We don't have that many things, so we can't draw very complicated maps yet because we've only got that many things. So let's go ahead and add some stuff. I'm going to pull up some reference from Link's Awakening so we can get ideas about what we want to do. I know we want to do... Gosh, and you know what? I don't even know where I saved it. I think I saved it over here. No, I didn't save it in here. You would think I would have saved it in pictures, but I don't know where I put it. Yeah, not here. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I've got it right here. Let's pop it into pictures. Call it link ref. And we will check it out. Yeah, and Prosto, so like, you know, we're getting to the point where my game is about to get bigger, right? Like we're gonna start to be placing things. So it now is the best time to kind of rehaul the drawing system before we get too deep into it, and we don't want to undo it. So I think now is the time to kind of play with tiled, but I don't know if I'm going to do that on stream. Like, I'm a beginner enough as is. I don't need to be learning a new app on stream too, and then just kind of boring everybody. But if that's something you guys are into, we could mess with it. Pictures, link ref. There we go. Okay. So here's the Link's Awakening tile sheet. So we are modeling a lot of our stuff based on this. We do want, yeah, we want like a little grass like this. We want a little pathway of grass like this. We want a rock probably. We want, let's work on a little house, because if we just have simple doorways like this, and then simple sidewalls like this, then we can just kind of draw whatever kind of texture of a roof, and then we can have a bunch of different little buildings. Making maps is good streaming. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe we'll do it. I'm just kind of like a little let's see. Let's download it and see if it's, because I you know, ideally I have it downloaded already, and kind of I have the workflow to get it inside of Lua already, so that I can just worry about drawing and importing and doing all that stuff rather than trying to configure it right now, because I haven't used it before. So maybe that's my homework for today, is I'll download tiled, and then one of these next days of streaming we'll be trying to determine if we're going to shift our rendering from our master sheet like this. We're kind of, right now we have this one sheet, and we're getting all the quads of all these things, and then we're kind of we're assigning them, you know, we're turning them into enums, and then just drawing whatever sprite we want manually in our map declarations on a per scene basis. So tiled is different, where you have to set it up, but you can say, hey, give me a 10 tiles wide, 8 tiles high, and here's the tile set. You draw the tile set with tiled, and then you save it as a Lua file, and then you have to import your Lua file in your game. So we have to figure out how to adapt our current system to use those Lua files from tiled, but it could be very worthwhile. So I will look into it. That will be my homework. For now, I do want to make a couple new collidable objects. So like I had in mind something similar to this, but instead of like a dirt ledge, I kind of want it to be like a wood log that we can kind of stack. Because I think the more we lean into kind of more natural environment, the more special the magic might seem when we get to cast that. So if everything's kind of like woody and dirt-ish, then I think it could look cool with magic. So maybe we make like a log cabin house, something like this. You know, we can make a left and right, or a door of a log cabin, and then like a side for it, and then a sort of log cabin roof. Let's go ahead and try that. let's go ahead. And I'm going to start our houses after... I'm going to start our houses like right here. So I guess what we could do is kind of draw it... We can almost kind of draw it here as one tile sheet, and then we just use our little slicey Python function to get the numbers of what these are, and we can just import them as that and just redraw them. So let's give us a little door here. Now, the row above us is our... These two rows are our collidable map objects, so we have to draw it on this. Well, actually, it is a collidable map object, so why don't we... Except for our doorway. Our doorway you should be able to walk into. So, yeah, we would need to put our doorway down here, but our sides of our door here, and then our roof somewhere. So... Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking we start way over here. Because I want an X amount of door symbols, right? So it's like, I know we want enough space. Let me just... I'm going to draw what our collidable rows are so that I can make sure not to put stuff there. So... These two are our collidable map objects. Spaces. So anything in these two rows here are going to be collidable map objects. So I'm thinking we can start drawing our houses and stuff over here. It's hard, and this is another point to tiled, because what we're doing is we gave us what we think is a big enough sprite sheet so that none of our quad indexes change by the time we add more and more pictures. So that's why I'm kind of drawing them in random ass places, is because I don't want these numbers to change, because then we have to change all the enums in order for them to be rendering the proper levels in our game here. So let's work on getting a door or a log kind of texture going here. So we know the side of our log cabin would need to be a collidable map object. It's gonna be tough to make it really look like a log cabin, but we'll try. There's only so much you can do with 16 pixels. If that's the start of our side of our log cabin, then we want our door. And for right now, we'll draw the door where it belongs over here, but we'll have to move it out of the collidable map objects row. Hey, yeah, thanks for hanging, Prosto. I appreciate you. You get some sleep. Good stream today, man. Oh yeah, get some rest. Eat that vitamin C. Oh lordy. I really just need to use a square tool. There is a really cool shading technique on Pixel or on Asprite here that I want to show everybody, but I haven't tried it yet, so I can't show. And our color palette is pretty limited, so we can't really do much shading, but I do want to eventually get to show off some of that stuff. Doesn't quite read as like a log cabin, but it's not awful. It's just so tough. You can't really add detail, like, because a dot is like 1/16 of the width of what we're drawing, so it's really tough to add detail. Something like this, I'm thinking. So if we kind of expand this out and pretend that this is the other side of it, that would be the left and right side of our log cabin entrance. Yeah, I don't really like... I want this brown to be a darker brown. But I think I even want the wood brown to be a darker brown. I don't like that color at all. Yeah, I don't like that color at all. It might look better with the black highlights. I think I do like the darker wood color, because we want it more earthy, I think. So yeah, if that's the entrance to our log cabin, a little lackluster. Let's take a look at how they do it. They've got like, see, they've got really nice shading here. So it's like they've got like a highlight up on top that gives it some depth, and then they kind of outline, and then they've got a little split here. Gosh, it looks so good. Yeah, ours looks bad. Do they do a black outline? I can't tell if they do a black outline or not. Let's see if this is 16 by 16. It is. Okay, so the blue doesn't overlap, that's the true. So they do have a black outline on top. Gosh, man, they do such a good job with that. Yeah, see, they add some shading here, like a darker purple on the right and top side. And then a little highlight up here. It looks a lot better than ours. But ours is different, you know, ours is gonna be, I don't know. Just looks weird. Maybe we round this out a bit, like round out the corners of the doorway. So it looks like a little tree trunk hut. Yeah, that's looking good. And then I do like what they did with the... It's like if they take this brown, get a darker version of it, and then they kind of do a highlight with it, like this. I mean, it reads as a sort of log cabin, you know, so it's not awful. Might be good enough for at least a starting point, because then all we have to do is come back into this master sheet and tweak what we don't like, so it's totally okay. It's not perfect. Yeah, that's too much. It's too much. I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Maybe we'll just add one more layer of this darker brown. Yeah, I don't know. I like it simple like this. So let's figure out what the top would look like for our log cabin hut. Oh, how they do it is like, since it's top down, they make it like, okay. Oh yeah, I don't know. So like if we just draw what the perspective kind of looks like, they've got like this is the very top of it. God damn it. This is sort of the top. And it kind of goes diagonal from here. And it's like a log cabin is what shape on top? Is it just flat? Like, I don't know that this is even weird. Let me look up a log cabin. Yeah, kind of like a pitched roof. So maybe we do like a pitched roof here up in the middle. But it's hard because we have a square, you know, we have a square limitation for our pixel art. So we kind of want it to go out here, because it, like, for example, if we have like a pitched roof like this, then our character, when it walks over here, this is all the same collidable map object, so we wouldn't be able to walk over here if it had a pitched roof. So we want to do something a little different. Let's see what this even looks like. Yeah, I mean, we can add some detail here to make this look a little more appealing. Uh, I mean, it doesn't. The top doesn't read logCabin, does it? It reads like convenience shop. That looks like a freaking log turd color. But we'll add some detail here, and we'll see if we can make it look a little more cabiny. We need like solid lines for like planks. Yeah, before I draw that, I think I just want to make some planks. It looks just too boring, like too two-toned. Like if we have maybe some shading on the brown here, so that, you know, the right side maybe looks a little shaded or something, might look a bit better. I mean, it definitely reads as like a little hut. We can start with this and then adjust it. This is probably a good enough start for us. Yeah, since our game is squares, you know, we kind of have to draw it a little more rectangle-y because this is all collision stuff, so. Maybe the roof is the darker color, or maybe we just have it. That looks a little weird. Yeah, the shading's jacked on that, yeah. I think that's okay for now. We want the black outline here for the sides. And I don't like how this is completely flush. Let's see this. They do that in Link's Awakening, and then they've got. Okay, well, maybe I don't like that this is coming out of here. Maybe we want it to come out of the corner here. Does that look a little better? No, not really. Okay. I think this is good for now, just as like a stand-in for once we spend a little more time on it. I'm trying to see if any other color kind of looks interesting. Okay, well, it's not very good, but it'll be a good stand-in. We do want to draw the border of our default border color. We'll save this as our master sheet. Now, what we want to do is we need to find which number of quad these are so we can import them as enums into our map declarations. So what we're going to do is detach. That was wrong. Detach here. Now, if we go into our source pics, graphics. No. Where is it? Graphics. We have a drawnums.py, and what we can do is look at that. Now, if we're giving it a master sheet, and then it'll go cycle through, put all the numbers, and save it as a numbered tiled PNG. So I guess now the question is, do we have our developer environment with a Python imaging library set up? I don't know. Let's try it. Let's try to do Python drawnums.py. Oh, I think it worked. Let's see. Graphics, tiles numbered. Great. So now we've got a reference to the hut we just made and what number it is on our master tile sheet quad index. So here are the numbers we need to code. But I just realized we messed up. We need to put our door. Our door is not a collidable map object. We need to be able to walk where a door is because we need to be able to walk inside a hut. So we'll move our 255 down to 87. Keep everything else there because we shouldn't be able to walk over any of those. And then we will import them as constants. So let's go we can leave this up as reference. There we go. Hey, Soul Engine Studio, good to see you. How are you doing? We actually need to go into our A sprite here. We're just going to scoot this down one tile. Okay, so now that door shouldn't be a collidable map object. But we do need to save our master sheet and overwrite it. And now we can go ahead and import these numbers into our map declarations, actually in our constants. I don't know if we have a collidable map objects part, but this is where we're putting them. So let's put them here. It'll be called cabin. What? Cabin roof, top left, gets 190. Cabin roof, top center, gets 191. Now these enums are how we're going to be able to draw these into our map declarations, and all we have to do is type what text value they are. So we are doing, the game engine is Love2d, and the programming language is Lua. And then my text editor here is NeoVim, which is also configured with Lua. Bottom left is this 222. So this is where, you know, if we end up using that tiled application and library, we would literally just draw this cabin with our tile sheet inside of tiled, and then it'll export a .lua for us, and then we just have to handle it in our game. But I'll do some experimenting with that and see if it's worth it, because we're about to be, you know, our game's about to get a lot bigger here. So we want to kind of for sure figure out how we're doing the rendering before we go ahead and attack it all the level design. Yeah, so Soul Engine Studio, I took, Harvard has some videos on YouTube about game development, and they start you off in Love2d and Lua building Pong, and then you build Flappy Bird, and then you build Mario, and then you go to Legend of Zelda, and then Pokemon. So those are all in Love2d and Lua, then they eventually get to Unity, but I didn't get that far. I made my own games after I saw Flappy Bird. So, but I do recommend that course if you're interested in Love2d. It is very, you know, it's open source and free and portable to Windows, Linux, and Android even. So it's a good engine in my experience. And Lua is very friendly. Like you can see like, even if you don't know code, like just look at how readable this stuff is. Like there's no crazy C++ syntax or anything, right? So it's like, it's very approachable, I think. Now our cabin wall, we want a left and a right here. They're almost the same exact thing, but we have a black pixel border that's separating them. And then our cabin door is actually 287 because we moved it out of our collidable map objects. So what this allows us to do now is to draw this cabin at any place in our map. Yeah, it's very straightforward. And even the particle system we got was super easy to implement. Like we've got these particles kind of going around our character now. And it was super easy to get that up and running. I haven't done much more than simple particles with the particle emitters, but it's pretty easy and straightforward. So now as long as we remember how we titled these things, cabin roof, cabin wall, cabin door, we can go ahead and draw them. So let's see where we want to put this cabin. Well, let's put it right here in this, you know, we can put it right here on these three objects. So we can go ahead, we'd have to move our flower anim spitter. Well, let's go ahead and we'll just put it up here because there's room for it. We'll put it at the very top right of our 1-1 on our map. So if we want to insert the cabin there, we go to our map declarations. We go to our map at 1-1. And we're actually, yeah, we're doing it right here. Map 1-1. And then we just draw, not the numbers, but we can literally say, I mean, we could pass in the numbers here. since we have them up as reference, it's really easy to see what they are, but we can pass in the, we know it is a cabin roof, top left. So it is a kind of a pain to have to type these in manually, but at least we don't have to like look at what numbers we're doing. And then this doesn't get updated every frame, so it's at least a little. I don't know. I'm a newbie at this. Because it like if you project this out to our entire game, right now we've got 100 scenes, a 10 by 10 map of scenes, each of which have 80 tiles. We'd have to manually code those 80 times 100, so what, 8,000 tiles we have to type out by hand if we go this route. Which isn't, I mean, it's not bad because it's like, if I know what I'm trying to place where, it's fine, but it doesn't make for rapid iteration of placement of things like this. So like we would probably want ultimately like a cabin roof drawable that we get, and we define it as these indexes all stitched together, and then we just draw it at one index, boom, at the top left, and it'll put all of them in place. So maybe we'll figure that out sometime soon. So that should be the top roof, and then we want a cabin wall. Then we want a cabin door. And then we want a cabin wall right. Okay, let's see if they're here. Hey, Evil Hero, welcome back. We have just added a little cabin, but it looks like our bottom wall is not registering as a collidable. Oh, I wonder what happens if we try to do this. Oh, it gets us stuck on the other side of it. Wow. Okay, yeah, so that's something we got to consider. Why is our cabin wall... Let's look at our... Where is it? In our... I think it's called... collidableMapObjects. So look, if the tile ID is between 97 and 224, oh, it's only 2 rows. So what we want to do is this to 256, and then they should be. I had thought we had done 3 rows of collidable map objects, so now that cabin sidewall is now a collidable map object. And then the door actually isn't, so we're actually able to walk inside the door there. Now we would have to trigger, you know, a special transition once we get far enough in the door, and maybe do some stenciling so that our head doesn't doesn't go outside the door like that. Or we can do it like old school Zelda, kind of just moves the character down as they walk forward, right? So like we walk forward and then it would just move. It would kind of like, it would trigger a walk through door animation, which just kind of scoots its head down and crops the bottom. So we'll have to figure out how to do that. And then what we can do is go to the map right next to us. So map declarations, we go over to 2.1. And actually it's 1, 2, and we'd want to make sure all these are actually our wood posts. I think we call them wood fence, so that we can't accidentally walk onto a screen that has a collidable object there and get stuck. Just for now, it won't look that great. But... So we've got a little cabin. We can't walk over it. So like there are pros and cons to the method I did like this. So it's like the bad is we had to manually come in and type in exactly every sprite and where we wanted it. But the pro is we know that it's a collidable map object right off the bat. So we didn't have to worry about collision detection for it because we've already defined all that stuff. So that's cool. And we've got our wood fence. I do want to make like a little tree trunk collidable map object. But we're almost at the we're almost at the point where I feel like we can make a little channel trailer for our Twitch channel and say, hey, we're building a 2D game that looks a little something like this. And then if we have like one more scene that we can walk to and it's contiguous and a little prettier than this empty spot, then I feel like we can make a little trailer for the channel, kind of welcome people into the project and show them what it's about. Then, yeah, we've got a whole bunch of stuff to do, but it is coming along. See, and if we don't go the tiled route where we have these wood fences with a transparent, instead of the green there for the wood fence posts, we would have it transparent. Instead of doing that in tiled, which if we can't figure out tiled, we might just make a different, we could make this wood panel, but with this darker green grass background so that it blends in better with this scene. Because they blend in perfectly in this scene, but they don't on the other scene. So if we don't get tiled working, then we can figure something out with that. But this is starting to look good. I'm really happy with the spell casting here. This is just one spell of ours, but it's looking pretty cool. And then we'll have to build out. So right now, all of our maps are... yeah, you know, I wish I knew how to write a little map editor app, because I know it's tough. I like the ladybug down here. That's cool. Yeah, I really don't know how to do any in-game sort of tools like that. I've been programming in Love2d and Lua for maybe like 2.5 years or so. It's really the only engine I know, and I only have built so far like an arcade game remake and a board game in Love2d. So this kind of top-down side scroller isn't something I've built before, and the scope of the game isn't something I've built before. So it's coming along. We almost got all the pieces to like really start level designing. Like once we built out a couple more sprites, then we'll start to have more level design opportunities, because we've got very few sprites to choose from for level designing, but we're working on that. So I do want to add like a tree trunk collidable. So we'll put it here next to the bush, or next to the fence. I always do this. I make myself coffee, and then I never drink it. So yeah, we want to do like a tree trunk. We'll make it the same color as our tree trunk. But we'll do it. Gosh, it's hard to see the outline here. This is the outline. I think it's easiest to start with a circle. Want kind of like concentric circles almost. Got to figure out the shortcuts for Sprite so we can do this faster. How much X and Y tiles on one map? So it is a 10 tiles wide by 8 tiles high, and the tiles are 16 by 16, and there is one row of tiles on the bottom that is our HUD, and that is we're actually building our game in Game Boy resolution. So if we go into our constants at the very top, what we can do is toggle our actual resolution. Actually, it's not here. It is right here. This is our real window width and window height before we resize it. So that's the size of game we're actually making. But we're using a library to resize it up to full screen even. Yes, 80 ground tiles. Yep. It is 10 by 8. So with 100 scenes and 80 ground tiles per scene, that's 8,000? Yeah. 8,000 tiles. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're going to be using all 1010 of our map of our overworld. But for example, if we walk into a little hut like this, it's going to load up a specific inside of a hut picture, which might map to a part of our overworld. It might map to one of our maps in that 100, or we might do something separate. I don't exactly know just yet, but this is how big our game is, which is kind of really cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I really need glasses to play it. But I like the idea that we're doing it. Like, I've always wanted to make a Game Boy game, but I can't like do assembly or anything. So we're just gonna make it Game Boy style, which is, we're gonna take the resolution and then mimic one of my favorite games of all time, Link's Awakening, and try to get a Game Boy-like experience. So yeah, so this is a virtual screen resolution that we're scaling up the Game Boy resolution to. And one thing I do want to do is I want to change how fast these scenes switch, because I was just playing Link's Awakening last night and this is way faster in that game. So we'll maybe half this time it takes to transition a scene. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. It shouldn't be hard. It should be under, I want to say it's under our scene, under a begin shifting. And it's actually under the actual begin shifting. We tween our values here over a certain amount of time. And let's half this to 0.4 seconds. So it should be a little faster than twice as fast now. Let's see. Boy, yeah, that was too fast. Maybe 0.6. 33% slower than it used to be. Let's see. I have a little idea for you because I saw that drawing objects for you is a bit repetitive and complicated. Yeah, go for it. If you want, in our Discord, we've got a programming channel. So if you want to type the code into there, I can pull that code up on screen a little easier if I'm looking at it and I think I want to implement it. So if you want to post it over there, that's probably the best way to do it. Because I know when you type in Twitch chat, it takes away all the enters and the spaces and stuff. Yeah, is that a bit too fast for the scene transition still? You know, I think Link's Awakening is about that fast. I can time it, but maybe a little bit slower. And we should make this a constant so that we can just scale this as we want. Let's do that up here. Yeah, I know. I have tried it and then been very sad to see the output, because I once tried to show somebody. Someone was asking about the music that's playing, and it's written in code right here, and it's playing live. And I was like, oh, here, I'll just send you the code. Look at the code. And I paste it in chat, and it looks like that. And it's like, oh god. Here's our little tree stump. CodeShare.io. I will look into it. Let's see how this tree stump looks in our game. Now it's one tile over from our wood fence. So we'll just save this as master sheet. And we'll go declare it in our constants here. So now that's 100. Now where do we want to place it? Let's place it right below the flowers that are animating down there in our 1-1. Okay, we've got a little stump. Now, it needs to be the same color as our tree and our cabin, ideally. So, and our cabin should be the same color as our tree, actually, too. So we'll change that. And I want to scoot this up one so that we don't collide with a space here. Let's do this to our wood post as well. We want the same tree color as our dark wood color. And then we'll actually change our light wood color to be a little brighter than this. That looks a little weird, huh? Huh? I don't know, not overly weird. And then let's snag, we want this tree color as our cabin color as well. Okay. See what that looks like. Okay. I liked the old cabin color better. So maybe we just change our tree stump color to be the old cabin color. Yeah, I don't know. It just looked better to me before. A little darker. So let's snag this color and we'll change our wood color to be this darker brown. Yeah, that is looking better. Yeah, I like that. Just want to make sure that this asprite file is saved somewhere, so if we accidentally, because every time we save over our file every time, so I'm wanting our asprite file to be separate so that we have a reference to our project in case we accidentally overwrite our master sheet. Let's see. Okay, stump is looking good. Collision for the stump is looking good. I think I want to... add a black pixel at the very right side of that stump there. We're missing a little spot on our tree for the brown color, but other than that, it's all looking pretty good. Okay. see that sneaky part. And then see if we do a black pixel here, it's a little too blocky. So maybe we just cut inwards here a bit so it's not as blocky. I mean, it's still got to be somewhat blocky, but maybe like that. Not quite, not quite. I want it to go down. Let's see how that looks. Looks a little weird. It does look better though. I don't know, it looks a little weird though. At like a right angle like that. We'd have to make the stump smaller though if we want it to be like the circle part smaller, if we want it to be a little more round or a little more angled at the bottom. Okay, well, this is starting to look a little more developed now that we've got a couple more things to draw. So we could do something, you know, I mean, we could do something like how we're doing our random skull and bones here in the desert, or wood and bones, where we just render like a random tree stump. But our game isn't randomly generated, but maybe, yeah, I'm trying to think if we would want, maybe we have like randomly generated dungeons, but not randomly generated overworld, because I want it to feel crafted, right? I want it to feel cohesive. But I think it would be fun to add a bit of randomness to it too. I mean, I'm thinking like in Stardew Valley where you go into the dungeons and you can just play down there. I don't know if that's random actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't remember. But you can kind of just go down there and you run into all kinds of different stuff. And the easiest way to do that is to randomly generate a bunch of stuff. Okay. So moving forward, I think we want to end up doing, we want to be able to contain our entity spawns inside each scene, so that we can say, hey, map 1-1 gets a bunch of, I mean, for example, map 1-1 gets a bunch of geckos that spawn out like that. Or map 2-2 gets that, or whatever, because right now we're just kind of manually putting it in our current scene. And what that means is if we're going in our play state, I believe, where's our play state? In our play state where we instantiate our player character, which is right here. No, I think it's in our scene, actually. In our scene, we populate what map we're on. No. You know what? It is in our play state when we instantiate a scene. Yeah, okay, so look, if we go over here to like 1-5 instead of 1-1, our geckos are here, over here. Just wherever our scene is. But we want to say, hey, geckos only go in this particular scene. And that goes for other things too, like NPCs or other bad guys. And you know what? Maybe since it's only been an hour 20 or so, maybe we work on looking at some particle systems for our bad guys. Because I'm kind of curious how that'll turn out. Now, we do want to make the idea in this game is that there's a bunch of creatures for the ecosystem, right? And they get corrupted. So the creatures that you're actually like battling are actually corrupted creatures of the ecosystem, and you're not killing them, but you're ridding them of corruption. So like you're attacking the corruption on them to get rid of it, and then once the corruption's gone, they'll kind of like scatter like this once they get kind of cleansed of the corruption or whatever. So that's the kind of idea. But that being said, that makes me want to make a dark corrupted gecko. So let's go see if we can figure out a color palette for that. Let's open our Gecko Atlas, and we'll save it right away as a corrupted gecko. I think I want to do a naming convention of like Gecko C Atlas or something, just so I don't have to type out corruption every single time. So like Gecko C Atlas will be Gecko Corrupted Atlas. And then we just want, basically it's going to be the same exact thing, except a dark blue, dark black color scheme. And then we'll have some sort of particle goop kind of coming from them. That's kind of what I want to try to test. So if we decide that like a dark, either like a dark red or a dark purple for the kind of corruption color, I don't know. Dark purple is kind of looking cool. I always thought of like muck as a corrupted, or like in this game, something like muck, like all that goop and stuff. I think is what we want to look for. Let me just... It was bugging me that the stream avatars were walking above the T-Muck session, so I just moved it down a bit. See, I want to see if there's a way to, instead of going over here and pasting all the all the colors, if there's a way to kind of edit all the colors at once. If anyone knows that in Sprite, I'd appreciate a tip. I'm sure there's got to be a way to do it, right? Like,
I'm gonna completely change it to a different one. Change for color, and now click on it, and I will go cowboy shirt from this bluish color. So I will click on it, and I will go to edit and go to replace color. And now what I usually do is that I will copy the original color. So I will click on the from, and then I will copy the hex value, and then I go to 2, and then I paste it in.
okay,
and then I will
so
just slightly adjust it depending
it
on...
looks like it's just called replace color. So what we can do is select the color we want to replace, and then we go edit, select color, or replace color, shift R. Oh, see, look, that's exactly what I wanted. And then we want a dark purple. We want... Shift R. That's very easy. Glad we looked that up, because it's not a lot of effort, and now we know how to do it. Wow, this is looking wild. Yeah, something weird like this. Oh, yeah, I like the dark. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, maybe we brighten up the purple just a bit. Yeah, I kind of want it to look like murky. Something like this. So this is our first kind of corrupted animal here. Now we're going to export this atlas as a PNG. And I'll show you guys how we're doing our entity system. Oh, you know what? We already saved it as a PNG. Okay. Because we opened it as a PNG, so I think what I want to do is save it into our pictures just as a backup. We'll make an A-Sprite folder in here so that we can place them. Okay. So here's how we do if we want a corrupted gecko in our game. We're going to go here to our entity definitions, and actually before that we go to our dependencies and make sure corrupted gecko gets its own value in here. Gecko corrupted, and then it gets a gecko atlas, gecko C atlas. Because I didn't want to be typing corrupted all the time. So we add in a drawable of gecko C for our corrupted gecko. Then in our entity definitions, we need to make, we either need to, I think we want to give ourselves a complete, see, and it's, since all of this stuff is already set, and we don't really want to copy it, maybe our texture, it needs to get replaced if it's, we can have a parameter or a field of our entity called corrupted or not, and if it's corrupted it renders the corrupted skin, if it's not it renders the normal skin. But it also, they have different behaviors, right? So like the uncorrupted geckos will just run away, but the corrupted ones will go there and attack you. So maybe we do want them different classes. I think we do want them different classes. It's just that a lot of this stuff is the same info. Like the walk up, down, left, and right is all going to be the same. So if we give ourselves another class of entity, do we need this bottom one? Yeah. So we're going to give ourselves another class of entity called Gecko Corrupted. And we can't just set the texture here. We have to make sure in our dependencies we have a texture of the Gecko Corrupted that takes in the path of our G texture of our gecko. And this is our drawable, and then we're generating all the quads and storing them into the frames here. So let's see. I'm curious if now that we've got our entity defs populated for a gecko C, we need to make sure all of our gecko textures get turned into a gecko C so that we're drawing the corrupted gecko. There was a missing comma where I added the Gecko Corrupted. You right. Right here. Yeah? Good catch. Or even right... Okay. Yeah. Just right there. And then... Hey, nice catch, Evil Hero. You're coming in clutch these streams. I'm surprised you catch like the littlest things too. Okay, so yeah, let's go to our scene here and see when we're instantiating our normal geckos. And let's see if instead of giving us gecko animations. Let's see if we give ourselves corrupted gecko animations and see. Yeah, buddy. We got corrupted geckos. Now this isn't, you know, we could have just colored our gecko this color and it would have had the same effect, but now we can draw either normal geckos or corrupted geckos. So what I do want to do also is, I think instead of drawing this many geckos, I want to only draw one and make it idle, and then we'll start drawing a particle emitter around it and try to... Yo, you have 20 years of Lua experience? Is Lua like exactly 20 years old? Like, I thought it was fairly new. What type of stuff do you code in Lua, Evil Hero? I mean, I figure you got some experience because you've been catching some little tiny bugs for us. So yeah, we just want to add one gecko here. And we want to insert into our scenes entity table. And we want to insert an entity instantiation. And we want to populate that entity's fields with our entity def at our key of gecko C dot animations, which is an animation class, and then an X and a Y of just the middle of a screen. Wow, it is just barely older than me. That's really cool. You know, I really do like Lua. I know a lot of people crap on it, but it's been only good to me. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, index and nil value errors, but that's your fault, not Lua's fault, you know? Wow. Dude, that sounds awesome. Do you have any like demos or anything available? You can share that either here in chat or on the Discord over there. I'd like to check it out. So we're inserting a Gecko C animation into the entity table that's in our class. And then, so instead of 12 geckos, we should only have one. But we also want to, we need to give it a direction because our animation needs a direction to know which way to set it. So we're going to say that our self.entities at this only index dot direction. You should be able to put links in here. If you can't, you can always chuck it in the Discord. But you should be able to put links. I know, like my bot can, or it's not even my bot anymore because I wanted emotes, but I'm able to post a link, so I feel like you should be able to. Okay, thanks. I will check that out. Here, I'll tag that right now so I know I can find it again. Thanks for sharing that. I'll check it out. So our direction, I believe, is just a string. Let's see if we just give it left, if that's valid. And no, we want to set it equal to the string. And then we need to change its state machine. Let me see here. This is what we do. So, Evil Hero, how did you find my channel? Did you search up on Lua on Twitch and then end up finding me? Because I feel like a couple of Lua guys have been finding me here on Twitch, which is cool because then they help me out with all my awful Lua habits. So yeah, we're giving our Gecko 2 states, an idle state and a walk state, both of which take a direction, and then we're changing our Gecko to the entity walk state. So we should have one Gecko and it should be stationary. I think it. Let me look at our entity. It's our directions aren't just a string, I guess. I thought they were. Where's our direction? Is it in our entity walk state? Oh, it's idle hyphen direction is what it is. Right. No, entity direction is equal to down. Okay, so yeah, just equal to a string. That's what I thought. Self.entities at the 1th index gets a string. Yeah, why is that wrong? Expected and parentheses. Oh, Oh, okay. Wow, that's cool. So far, stuff is looking very well done. I appreciate it. I don't believe you, but I appreciate it. I'm really just cobbling it together. This is by far the most ambitious thing I've attempted. I'm not sure why we're crashing here. Parentheses expected around 1646. Yeah, exactly. It's just throw stuff at a wall and then see what sticks and tweak it from there. Why are we doing this? Oh, we need to close our table here. Whoa! Okay, he's walking. We want an idle. He did go left though. We want, it's a, is it, what state is it called? Is it just called entity idle? Idle, then a direction, okay. No, that's just the animation. Entity walk, okay. Well, how do we change into an entity idle? Entity idle, yeah. Okay, so we don't have an idle left animation, I guess. Do we have an idle up? We've got an idle up. So what are we doing wrong in our... Are we not defining a... Where's our entity defs here? Idle up? Oh, we only have an idle up, that's why, okay. Well. Yeah, we gotta give ourselves the other idles, obviously. So, I think, why did we do that? We were just lazy, I guess. So it should be, we have to pull up our reference here to see. So, Evil Hero, are you a software engineer of some sorts? For a career? Here we go. So our idle is 5 for idle up, so that means 10 would be idle left, 15 would be idle down, and 20 would be idle right. Okay, wow. So you've got 20 years of experience, but just, you know, hobbyist? Like, did you go to school for this sort of stuff? Or are you're just learning into it? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Let's do them in order here. This will be left, down, right. Okay, this should be 20. Down should be 15. Left should be 10. And then now we should be able to, in our scene here, go any direction, like left, and we shouldn't crash now. Cool. So it looks like we've got that. Now we probably need to go and add those for our normal geckos too. But we do have our different directions set. Cool. So now that we've got our little gecko here, I'm gonna switch us back. I'm gonna switch us to map 2-1 in our scene instantiation for our player here. Actually, it's in our play state for our scene instantiation. Yeah, exactly. Just find little projects. There was this video on YouTube about George Hotz, the hacker, saying how to learn programming, and he literally just said, like, find a thing you want to do, try to do it. And it really is like that. Like, you're not gonna just learn it by watching a tutorial. You know, you really have to just sit there and try it. I mean, tutorials can help for sure, but you really got to just do something. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? I'm looking for our play state and our scene instantiation at 1, 2, because we wanna to be able to see our corrupted gecko so that we can see our particle system that we're giving it. Yeah, cool. So we're gonna work on giving our corrupted gecko particle system goopiness coming out of him, and we'll play around with that. So let's take a look. I do want to just take a refresher because I'm still very new to the particle system. We only just a couple days ago got it working for our character for our spellcast. I know, yeah. I can't imagine how crazy it must have been to learn programming with only books back in the day, you know? I mean, like, there are good... I've got the Learn C Programming by Brian Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie, and that book's really good. But also, like, I really wish I had someone to talk to about that stuff, because I'm like... I don't get a lot of this stuff they're talking about, but I do know it's well written. I can tell it's well written. It's still going over my head. Okay, let's take a look at our spellcast entities and look at our particle system instantiation. I think it's actually in our scene we're doing that, which is probably not where we want to do it. Yeah. So let's give ourselves... We'll have to move all that stuff eventually. Let's find our particle system that we do have. So this is how we do it. We give us a particle system. Oh, it's in our map. Okay, I guess that's better than the scene at least. So I think for right now we will put it in our scene just because we want to just have easy rendering for it. And we just want to test it. So we're going to say that we're going to give ourselves a local particle system. And it's going to be a particle, which we need to actually give it a 1 pixel particle. I wonder if there's a better way to do that. Like, since it's 1 pixel, do we really have to provide a PNG of just 1 pixel? There might be another workaround for that, but let's see if we crash here. We're okay, so let's go ahead and try to do... We'll try to do our emission area, our emission rate, and our color for our particle system and see if we can't get something to look interesting for our corrupted gecko here. So let's take a look at our map again. Now if we go to our particle system stuff, we have a place to move it to. I'm just going to yank all this stuff so that we don't skip anything, and we'll go back to our scene and we'll go into our update. And we'll put our particle system here for our corrupted gecko. Now we've only got... What we can do here is take out all the self-references. And then I guess all the eyes we want to be... Actually, yeah, we want to take out the eye references, so we're going to substitute the eyes. Oh, you can't do a find and replace with brackets? Is there an escape character for that? Oh, there is. Nice. Okay. Nice. I did not think I was going to be successful there. That was cool. Okay. So yeah, we're going to move this to be where our gecko currently is. So we'll say our... And where is it? Our corrupted gecko is in our self.entities table. at our first index at our X field, and then here also at the first index in our Y field. Okay, we don't worry about spellcast fade. We're just going to be setting this stuff. So let's give it a particle lifetime of 3 seconds. We will comment this out. Now we want to set the color before we, and actually there's if we pass in some garbage to this emission area, it'll tell us, oh well, our particle systems, it's not particle systems, it's particle system. It's expecting none, uniform, normal, ellipse, border ellipse, or border rectangle. So those are our options to pass into the emission area. I know, yeah, Evil Hero, I feel you on that. Like, programming is so broad that I feel like if there was only C, like no one would be a true expert of just C. Like it's wild. Like you can have like some severe or some serious competency in it, but I feel like no one is a master of it. Like it's just so freaking tough. And no language is perfect, so no one can say that they've perfected it because no language is perfect. So it's just kind of crap. Was it ellipse round they called it? I feel like we want that ellipse round. What is going on? Ellipse, just ellipse, or border ellipse. Let's see ellipse. Emission rate and no value. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Highlight everything in the parentheses and change to 40. Okay, now we want our colors to be purple, right? So let's get a color up here. We'll call it RGB colors. We want the emission rate to be like this. Should it go from black to purple or purple to black? Probably purple to black, right? So if we want it to emit as purple, that is, oh gosh. That's almost like a Twitch purple. So it's 102.0.204, 102.0.204. 102.0, come on, 204. And then we give it a somewhat transparent, but not very transparent. I mean, I guess we can say completely opaque to start with. I want it to be like goopy. So like I kind of want them to linger a bit longer. So we might have them have a, hey Fox Hollow, good to see you here. How are you doing? We're working on a particle system for our corrupted geckos here. So we're trying to get the right colors for the particle system. Oh, come on. Really just doesn't like it. Cool, man. It's always fun to see you here. Yeah, we want like a nasty, grimy purple. So 25.0.51. 25.0.51. Let's try that. And then 0 so that it'll actually fade. Now I do want this to be longer, maybe 5 seconds. And we want the emission area to be maybe bigger than this. It's hard to say though how it renders with the ellipse. So let's just see. We are not rendering our particle system, so we need to go ahead and do that. We'll go here down to our bottom, and we'll go P system render. And actually, we don't do that. We have to do a love.graphics.draw. And the drawable we want to render is our particle system, and we have to give it an X and a Y, so that'll be our entity, our Gecko, our only Gecko in our entity table here. And we'll do it at its X and Y, and we'll probably have to offset that, but I just want to get the particle system working, which we don't seem to see. So either we're messing up particle system, takes in a particle, we update the particle system. I guess like before we move it, let's see if we don't move it, if we just see the particle system anywhere. We don't. We've got an emission rate, we've got an acceleration, we're setting the color. The colors might need... No, I know they don't need those values. They should be okay. But we're not seeing it. I'm going to check my map to see how we're rendering our fire particle system, and we render it. We do a love.graphics.draw, the particle system at an X and Y. So we are doing the same thing there. We do have to... I guess we have to update our particle system. Yeah, I guess we just have to update it, because we give it... where are all of our definitions here? Well, this is in the update, but we still end up updating it. Okay, so I think I might be misunderstanding some of that. But if we go back to our scene here... Yeah, man, of course. I've been loving the community here on Twitch. Everyone has been so nice in the software game dev category. It's been a very awesome experience. Because I'm a beginner myself, and that's kind of like the reason I'm streaming, is because I felt like there was not a lot of beginner streamers. I mean, there are some, but it's like it's hard to find them and everything. So it's like, you know, I just wanted to be able to share my process, and hopefully people can get inspired to learn on their own too. Yeah, we're not seeing our particle system here. Now we are rendering. Just want to see if we can get it anywhere. We don't see a particle system anywhere. Let's call it, you know, I mean, I don't think, we don't have a particle system anywhere else that we might be overriding globally, do we? This is it in our scene. That's the only thing I could think of, is that we use the same name. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like I don't like the idea that like I would be getting a lot of good practice in a proprietary kind of engine or whatever, you know, because then they, with a snap of their Thanos hand, they just make it paid or make the licenses all crazy. So I like more open source and more kind of having to kind of just do it like this. I mean, I've been looking into Godot, and that looks really cool. I like that that's open source, so I might give that a shot, but it's hard to... Yeah, I would trust Godot, I think, but anything like Unity, I don't think I would trust. Okay, I don't know why this isn't working. We've got a particle system. We're setting its emission rate and everything in our scene update. We're setting the emission rate. Are we missing anything else from our piece system logic? Now we've got an image, a particle system with that image. We've got a place to move it to. We aren't doing that at the moment, I don't think, but then we just render it. It should be as simple as that. I don't know why we're not rendering it. I'm liking the corrupted gecko looking purple like that. I think that's looking cool. But we need to get the particle system. Come on, man. Let's try to put normal here, because it might be just too tiny of an emission area. So let me just see if we give it normal, if we might be able to see it. No. Let me just go to where we're rendering our particle system and just try to print something and make sure that we're not overriding anything in the render order layer. Well, we can't see test, so that's probably the issue. We should be able to see this. Why aren't we rendering the scene? I mean, we are rendering the scene. Let me just try to draw our particle system maybe before, after our map, and after our entities. Let me just see. Oh, I saw some. Did you see it up in the top left? Yep, I see him up there. So our particle system is up there. So let's go ahead. Let's put this here, not at 0, 0, but at our self.entities first index x, and then self entities y. Let's see, we should have a particle system where our gecko is, and it's at the top of our gecko. So now that we screwed up all of our emission logic, let's go find where we can do that. And then piece system right here. Okay, so we want a tinier emission area, maybe 6, and I want to see what the ellipse emission area looks like. And there's also an ellipse border, so we'll see what that looks like. So it looks like that, since we're so little on the Y, let's give this a 6 and a 4, and we'll see if we can see. Yeah. Okay, so those are going. Now, I don't want these particles to go so far away. Like this is the logic for our fire, where it just kind of floats and goes away, but we want it to kind of go a lot slower. Like we want it to be, we want these to be a lot lower. And we want it to go in all directions. But I want to see what the ellipse, oh, it's ellipse border. No, it's border ellipse, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah. So if we just change the render order so that's under our gecko, I don't like how pink it is. I thought we pulled much darker colors than that for our particle system. 102.0204. Maybe we had this. Oh, we didn't see what the alpha was for that. But red is too much. Blue is probably way too much. Let's see what that looks like. Doesn't look any different. How come this is not looking any different? Okay, that's looking different. Oh, yuck. Yeah, that's looking gross. I don't know why, but... So we do want to move to... We want to move the particle system. And we're actually... We can render it... let me just see what happens if we move to the X and Y. See, it's way down there. So instead of rendering it at the X location, we're moving it to the X location, so we can go ahead and in the render for our P system. We can go ahead and just do it at, what, 0, 0, I guess. Now that we're moving our particle system. Okay, so then we just get the offset in the move to, and then we should be okay. And the offset should probably be something at least like half of our tile width and half of our tile height. So I'm just popping in a magic number of 8 there. Okay, now we need to change the render order layer so that the gecko is on top of our particle system. So we're going to go before we render our entities, or after we render our entities. Yeah, we want to render our particle system before our entity. So now it should be right under our corrupted gecko. Yeah. So a little less on the Y, and I need to get the colors right. It needs to go like murky purple to dark black. And yeah, he'll be leaky gut syndrome for the gecko here. I think this 4 should be a 3, and I think these colors need to be more accurate. Let me pull up. We got a... I mean, it's supposed to look gross, right? Like, yeah, instead of pink, I want it to be purpley, dark purple to black, while it kind of fades out, and it should track with them as they crawl, and it looks gross, right? And then let's try to get that purple back. There's got to be a better website than the one I picked for RGB colors. I know, oh, you know what? Adobe has a really good tool for it, as much as I hate Adobe. Oh God. I hate all the stuff Adobe's trying to cram down everyone's throat. Okay, yeah, screw Adobe. I just want to do... There's like one in Google. How do you get the Google one? Really? I used to be able to find it so easy. It was like in the Google search. Yeah, there it is. Okay, just color picker. Okay, so we want a dark purple to start with. So that is 105, 31, 242. 105, 31, 242. Let's just keep that up. Okay, 105, 31, 242. and then full opaqueness, and then it fades to a very dark color at 0 transparency. So it should look darker now. It's still bright. What the heck? Still looks super bright. Like, what is the luminances just needs to be lower, I guess. Instead of placing everything inside your render functions, make a new file for each object and add callbacks to your function. This will let it look a lot cleaner, and you have each object's code entirely written in one file instead of scattered across. Okay. I will consider that. I don't know exactly what that means. Because we have a lot of our render stuff for like our entities is in our entity class in the render function there, and then I just cycle through all our entities and render them all. I'm not really sure how to add those callbacks that you're talking about, but I will look into it. Yeah, you know, I kind of want like a swirly animation, not so much these linear accelerations, but we're still getting way too bright of pixels to start out with. Don't like that we're doing this. I think we need just darker values. It's like we half all these values. Should be darker. Well, they look brighter. They look brighter. Why do they start so bright? Maybe black is the other way. Black is full. Let me see. Black. Yeah, black is a lower number. Yeah, I mean, we're doing... I appreciate you trying to help out, Evil Hero. Just Google color picker. Yeah, that's how I ended up finding it. It is very easy. I was like searching RGB hex value or you know, like, but yeah, literally just Google color picker, and it works. Gosh, we're still getting bright pixels. What is going on? We're setting a color somewhere else? Because I feel like this isn't even changing the freaking color. Okay, maybe you are. Yeah, I want like a swirly animation, I think. Instead of a linear acceleration, I want like a swirl or something. Let me just try something here. We're gonna just try to render a rectangle at a certain color. And that color is going to be a very dark color. See, why is that white? That should be a dark color, right? Okay, we just need to give it darker values here. Or we need to give it, for whatever reason, I guess the just numbers in there isn't out of 255. I don't know what that is. But we just need to divide it by 255, I guess, to get the proper color, actually. And then we should have our darker pixels, and we can go full opaqueness here. Yeah. Oh, yuck. Ugh. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I want to test if the particles will move with them, which we are rendering it at the entity's position. So if we go change our self.entity here, where do we give it? Where do we give our corrupted gecko here? Right. Oh, right. There we go. So let's try this entity walk instead. See if our entity or our particle system goes. Yeah. Oh, yuck. Yuck. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Let's go. Let's do. Let's have him walk left, but put him not at the center of the screen, but off to the very right side of the screen, so he walks on. And we'll see what that looks like. I think there might be a problem with him deinstantiating once he's past the screen border. And actually, no, this is... We don't want to do our Y. We want to do our X. Yeah. Oh, cool. Ooh. Yeah, oh, that looks cool. Oh, yeah. And then if he does, if he is just chilling, he would look like kind of just gooping out. Ugh. Yeah. Maybe a little less tall on the Y value for our emit height. Yeah, maybe this can be a 2. And then this can be a 5, just to shrink it up just a bit. Kind of liked it better, what it was. Let's see that. I'm going to make it fade a little bit faster. Yeah, instead of pink, I want those starting colors to be darker. So 27, 5, and 66. Let's see that. Yeah. Still looks a little pinkish. I mean, I guess we would just take down the R value if that's the case, right? I guess it has to do with they're fading. So like they are a darker color, but their fading turns out to be making them appear lighter. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, good call. Thanks for the first-time chats, Warren. I appreciate it. Nice. Yeah, that looks way darker. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I don't want it to be too samey because it makes his colors blend in too much. So maybe we do want a little more color to give it a little bit of distinction between its body and its goopiness. Yeah. Ugh. Kind of like a muddy kind of. Yeah. That looks gross. Cool. So instead of a linear acceleration for this, I wonder if there's a different type of particle emitter acceleration we can set. But I do want to see what this color and stuff looks like with the gecko walking to the left. So we'll go back here and we'll turn its X position over there and we change its state to be a walk. And we'll see its walking animation. That's cool. That's really cool. I like that. So I guess at the moment we are instantiating a corrupted gecko, and this would still have a particle system, yeah, if it's a normal gecko, which isn't correct, but we won't worry about that just yet. I do want to see if there's a different sort of particle system acceleration other than the linear that might work for some weird goopy acceleration, because at the end of the day it's kind of the same kind of look as the fire, just going in all directions instead of floating up. So Love2d particle system, and maybe we can find a acceleration that is different than a linear. Spin variation. Yeah, that's what we want. Tangential acceleration. Yeah, how do we do that? Radial acceleration. Set radial acceleration. Maybe we try that. Set radial acceleration instead of linear. So let's go ahead and try that. We'll comment this out and we'll say instead P system will set a radial acceleration. That's exactly what I'm looking for, I think. And we want maybe anywhere from 0 to 100. Let's see. Oh, whoa! Yeah, that looks wild. Let's see it when it's still. That did look wildly different. Because some were going crazy. Ooh. Yeah, I think that's the move. I want to see what it looks like in idle though. We want to go to our Gecko C and we go put its X position back in the center. And then we go to an entity idle and we see what that looks like. Whoa. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah, radial acceleration. Maybe, does that mean... we don't want it going that far away. But... Like, let's just go wild here and see what 300 radial acceleration looks like. So it's like, and then if we set the minimum to also, you know, so that it's only, yeah, it's like kind of like the speed. It's not really like a spin like I thought it was. It's more of a acceleration outwards from the center. So like maybe we can combine stuff. Oh, that looks gross. Because I don't want it to look like blood or anything. I just want it to be kind of like a nasty, goopy sickness. So the radial acceleration is just outwards from the object, like from the center. Yeah, it doesn't really give that swirly goop look I'm looking for. So maybe we look for maybe something different. Yeah, that's not quite it. But it is cool to know that that exists. And I'm sure we will use that radial acceleration somewhere. Set rotation of the image. Set spin of the sprite. Set tangential acceleration, maybe something like that. I don't know. Let's try to set the tangential acceleration and see what that gives us. Let's see what this takes in. Set tangential acceleration. A min and max, okay. So let's just see what 1 to 10 would look like. This is more swirly. This is more swirly like I was hoping for. Let's see 1 to 100 just to be crazy. See what that does. Oh, yeah! The swirls, but we don't want it that, we don't want them going that far, but that's exactly the kind of thing I want to see. So let's go ahead and actually we'll turn off our entity render so that we can just see what the particle system's doing. Yep. Okay, that is looking cool. But we need to go set tangential acceleration. Let's see what a pure, you know, like just getting 100 looks like. Okay, so what if we just do, can we give in just one number instead of a min and max? Yeah, this swirl is exactly what I'm looking for. So the higher this number, the further out they go, unless we fade them faster. Ooh. Yeah. Now, what if we had, like, I want it to not be kind of like if you look at this, they're kind of like all emitting from like up here and then over here. But if these two values were to kind of sway back and forth so that it looked a little more flowy, I guess. So like maybe we can we can move this by an offset of some sort. Like once we're happy with, and maybe we need a smaller, what if we have a smaller emission area for this? It kind of loses its swirl when we make it smaller. If we give it bigger, you can see the swirl easier. Yeah, I don't like that it's kind of consistently coming out up here and down here, and there's no variation in there. Okay, okay. Yeah, it's still not moving as much as I was hoping it would. Let me just see if we give a bigger, like, I just want to get a better idea of what this is doing. So I guess it's because we're an oval ellipse instead of a circle, because that looks like it's not really prioritizing any one spot. So maybe we just need a circle, more of a circle down when we're this tiny, and then we can kind of have a more consistent offset of the, yeah. Let's get our Gecko back. We'll go to our entity. This is looking pretty good. Hey, Vegas girl. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for the gift subs the other day. I really appreciate that. That's looking pretty good. Let's see how that looks walking. And then we'll see. So yeah, we're working on our corrupted Gecko here. And if we change this to a walk, and we give this a width, we can see our Gecko walk. Yeah, it still doesn't, actually, that looks pretty good. I like it. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Okay, I do want to see. I want to tweak. I want to tweak it just a bit more, and then I'll be happy with it, at least for now. I think I want to make the circle a tiny bit smaller because we can kind of see like the outline of the emitter. I think we make it a tiny bit smaller. Yeah, maybe 2-2 instead of 3-3. I like that. I like it. And it's like kind of like a dark red pixel fading to a dark purple and fading out. That looks cool. So eventually we'll have to add, you know, normal Gecko logic is going to be running out whatever direction. But I appreciate that, Vegas girl. Thanks for being here. Our corrupted Gecko is going to have some sort of like, you know, walk towards the player AI if we're in a certain radius. And then ultimately we need to add, you know, player to enemy collision that will not only hurt our health, but kind of shoot us backwards in the opposite direction we were hit. And then make us flash red or whatever, you know, like we just got hit. And then, yeah, we'll be working on the AI for that eventually. And then when we use our magic spell, you know, if our spells hit our enemy there, it would detect a collision and it would knock them backwards a bit. So they kind of like heat seek chase you, and you have to kind of hit them with a spell in order to knock them back and give you some time to recharge your manas a bit so that you can cast another spell and hopefully hit them and hopefully stay safe. I'm a little worried that like with a bigger level design or something, that all the particles are just going to be too crowded. But we don't really start with 5 flames like that. We are going to only be starting with 1, which might look something like this, which is still a lot of particles, but we're splitting it. Yeah, we'll probably have to split the particles. Right now we're saying like if the particle emitting is 400, then 1 flame gets all 400, but if there's 5, each 5 get 400 divided by 5, so it's the same amount of particles just spread out upon the flames. But we probably want to scale that a little bit differently. We want not quite this many for 1, but probably as little as this many for 5 of them, because it just looks like too much otherwise. But it's looking cool. Like, it's supposed to be a game full of magic, you know, spell casting and stuff, so I think it's okay that it's got the particles like this. It feels retro in the sense of the Game Boy, but it doesn't feel retro in the sense of the particle system. But I think that's okay that we can kind of mesh those things, because I think with the whole game, it's going to be a blend of new and old. Like, it's going to be, I think for the most part, the soundtrack is going to be kind of like 8-bit Game Boy sounds. But when you actually get the music, when you get the sheet music to unlock new biomes and stuff, you're going to be playing a lute, and it's going to sound like a real lute instead of like a Game Boy lute. Because I think an 8-bit lute sound would sound awful. So we'll be experimenting with that. But this is so cool to see the beginnings of our spellcast mechanics and our enemies. Because like we haven't had an enemy until just today, so this is looking cool. We can get them to walk and everything, and it's not too hard. So I'm really liking this. I think we're in a good direction. Heading in a good direction. And then earlier today we set up a couple more collidable map objects, like this tree stump and the fence here, and this logCabin, which has an open door, so we can't walk in here, but if we go in the door we can actually go in there. And we have to just, you know, change that a bit so that we can actually transition. So like we might do some stenciling here to render that map over our character as we walk under it. That would be really cool if we could figure that out. And then, yeah, this is looking good. Yeah, I'm liking this. And then one other kind of idea that I'm playing with is that these geckos, if we turn them back, like let's for example put our gecko C back to a normal gecko. Come on, gecko C back to a normal gecko, and then we actually don't render our particle system for our nasty gecko entity, our corrupted gecko entity, I should say. So no more particle system here. I just want to show you guys like the gecko. Oopsie. You know what? We don't have a idle left. We don't have an idle left on our gecko. We only have an idle up. Okay. So like this gecko, imagine this gecko. So like, check this out. And we'll put a gecko like 2 frames to the right or to the left where we're currently putting him, which if we go to our gecko instantiation and we put it like 32 to the left, just want to show something over here. Nope, that's not right. That didn't look like it moved it. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Too far. I don't think we just saved it. Okay, that looks right. So like, look at the gecko here, and then watch him over here. See how he kind of like camouflages in with the pathway there? I think it'd be cool if we give our corrupted geckos a sort of palette. So like, see how the gecko's kind of camouflage there. So like, I'm thinking if we have a bunch of purple on the ground, you know, the same color palette as our corrupted geckos, they can blend in like camouflage like that. And then until they get aggro, they don't emit the particles. But I think it'd be fun to have little camouflage enemies like that in certain locations. So I think that's an interesting idea we can play with. But for right now, for this commit, I will go back to doing our Gecko C, and I'll go back to rendering our particle system. And we'll make sure, yeah, and I want to go, we do want to add our other idle directions. We do want to add our other idle directions to our normal gecko so that we don't get a crash like that again, because we ended up like our corrupted gecko is more built out than our left gecko for whatever reason. I don't know why we didn't do that when we first made it. We were just lazy, I guess. And then I want to put them right in the middle for the commit, I guess, which is right here. And then we'll go to our entity defs and make sure that our normal gecko has the idle frames for each direction. Yep. So our normal gecko here needs our other idles. So it's going to have an idle left, which is a frame 10. Idle down, which is a frame 15. And then an idle right, which is a 20. Okay, so now we should be able to change those idle positions for our normal gecko. But we are currently only rendering one corrupted gecko. Why is that taking so long? Why did that take so long? Okay, that was just a fluke, I guess. Okay, cool. I am very happy with this. I think this is looking great. This is a good stopping point, I think. We're going to do a git commit, add everything to the staging area, commit with a message saying corrupted gecko. Gecko and logCabin map objects. We're gonna say all of our collidable map objects, logCabin, stump, and then a fence, wood fence. And corrupted gecko. That's awesome. So yeah, we've got a couple new things now. We'll go ahead and commit. All right. Hey, I appreciate everyone checking out the stream. If anyone's interested in the source code, I post it all on the Git repo there. So if anyone wants to see that, it is there. There's no one I have to raid. Does anyone have a raid suggestion for someone who's live right now? Because none of my friends are live. Oh, hey, thank you, Warren. I appreciate that follow. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we've been streaming almost 2 months now. But I appreciate the follow. I'm glad you're here and you hung out for so long. We're hoping to ultimately release this game on Steam. It'll probably be a couple years, but we've gotten this far in 2 months, so I'm hoping we can continue the trajectory, because it's been a lot of fun, and we're gonna soon be doing music for the game. It's gonna be kind of like Guitar Hero, but with like a lute. So we're gonna be figuring out how to add an instrument into this game. So it's kind of, no, I just say we, like the community, because stuff like, you know, people offer suggestions, like Evil Hero was helping us fix some bugs and some particle system suggestions and stuff. So I just say we, because we're all here, you know. So I appreciate everyone being here. I wish I had someone to raid. I'm gonna see if I can find a Lua programmer or someone to raid. Let's see. There's this Plague Pals. Let's see how that's going. Oh, they look like they're just talking. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Time Swipe, for being here. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I really do want to raid somebody. I'm just not finding anybody. Sorry, guys. Bear with me here. If you want to duck out, I totally get it. But I really just like raiding people. I think it's really fun. We'll just find someone in game dev with... Let's see. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing, guys. Sorry. Well, maybe we just don't raid anyone. I don't know. I'll just call it a night. I hope everyone has a good night. Thanks for watching. My schedule is about every night at 7 Mountain Daylight, so I try to keep it consistent. If anyone's curious about the Discord, we got a link here. Feel free to join us on there. Feel free to share your projects on that Discord, because I'd like to check what people are working on. It'll help give me ideas, so I appreciate that if anyone wants to do that. But otherwise, have a good night, everyone. I appreciate it.